episode of Creeps, Creatures, and Haunts. This is the first episode in what's going to be a series here of haunted dolls. If you're watching the video form here right now, for one, I'm sorry. But Kim is holding a not actually haunted doll, well, as far as we know. But it is a creepy doll. Where the hell is that thing even from?
I made it.
Oh, you made it.
Yeah.
So what, you just took like a...
I took an old baby doll that
just
I got
desiccated
at like, Goodwill and painted her up. And I actually tea-stained her dress. Her dress was white, and I tea-stained it, so it's a little off-white. And yeah.
Huh.
And she actually... The way I did this, because I watched a tutorial and stuff like that. You paint the doll with black paint, and then you take white paint and you sponge it on top, and you kind of leave it so that the like little lines show and stuff like that. And I kind of like the fact that like the paint kind of chipped on her a little bit, so you can actually still see like what she originally looked like, but it actually looks like that's like little remnants of like her flesh still on there. Which I think is really cool.
So if you're just listening to it, if you want to see Kim's creepy doll that she's snuggling with, you can watch the video, I guess. If you're already here watching the video, hi. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about Annabelle. Figured we started off with, like, the most popular.
Yeah.
We're going to also be covering Robert the Doll and a couple others, so make sure you stay tuned for future episodes. These ones may be shorter than some episodes, since we're like just talking about one specific thing on each one. Don't know, maybe we'll just ramble on forever. I don't know yet. We haven't filmed it yet. That's what we're doing now. So, before we get into it, as always, make sure you check out the Patreon if you haven't. We also have a merch store, so you can buy shirts and just a whole bunch of other crap with our logo on it. There's like mugs, there's like tote bags and stuff, designed the logo and all that crap, so you can go there and I'm real good at selling it. Go check out our crap, guys.
Go buy our crap.
Check that crap out. If you're listening to the podcast, leave us a 5-star review. It really, 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 really helps us. So if you're listening to something where they allow that, please do that. Puts us higher in the search, and we have been getting better traction. I've noticed. It's been going up quite a bit. Not still like that much, but like, you know, we're getting better. So I'm hoping that, you know, the more episodes we do, that more people are finding the podcast and enjoying it. And of course, all the podcasts we do are also in video form. It's not really necessarily a reason that you must watch these videos. That's why it's cool to have the option to listen or watch. But if you'd like to see our faces and a pretty little set, then watch it. With that being said, I think we'll just go ahead and get right into it. I will let you kind of take it away.
Yeah, today we are talking about Annabelle the doll. Everybody knows this doll because she's been featured in numerous movies. In the Conjuring movie sphere, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Despite what she looks like in the movies, Annabelle is actually a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yep.
Because of licensing and everything like that, and because the guy wanted it to be a little bit creepier.
He wanted to be creepier, and he also said that if they were to use the Annabelle or the actual like Raggedy Ann doll, that like kids might be like terrified of their Raggedy Ann dolls.
Yeah.
He's like, we don't really want to like terrify children of their toys. That just seems like bad business.
So let's just make this creepy looking doll.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Okay. So the story or origin of Annabelle is that she was given to a nursing student by her mother. Her mother saw it in a store and just thought, oh, my daughter would absolutely love this doll. So the nursing student and her roommate have the doll in their apartment, and they start noticing that it keeps moving. They'll find it in a different position. They'll find it in a different room. Just a bunch of stuff. And so they did call in a psychic at one point, and the psychic told them that it was possessed by a little girl that just wanted to be loved. And so the roommate and the nurse decided they were going to just smother this doll with love and attention because, you know, it's a little girl. Well, it wasn't. Activity started to actually amp up quite a bit, and Annabelle actually got a little bit violent as well. That's where Ed and Lorraine Warren, yeah, those people, were called in to look at the doll. And according to the Warrens, they said it was an inhuman entity, because only inhuman entities can possess an object, for example, a doll, and that the doll was possessed by this inhuman entity or demon, that was actually looking for somebody, a person, to possess. The Warrens ended up exorcising the apartment, and they took the doll with them and put it in their occult museum, like you do. They claim that on the drive from the apartment to the museum, their car actually malfunctioned numerous times. The brakes would actually like not work when they were trying to like stop and things like that, until finally Ed pulled the car over, doused the doll with holy water, and then buckled it into the back seat. And after that, they were able to get to the house. They said that it was moving around in their house and levitating. They decided to make a special case for Annabelle and put the doll in there. And the case is actually inscribed with the Lord's Prayer and St. Michael's Prayer. And it famously, if you ever find pictures of it, it says, absolutely do not open this case. Yeah. Like in big, huge letters. Even in the case, though, Annabelle has been known to cause problems. A priest was visiting the museum, and he dismissed the doll, saying, no way, no possible way that this doll is possessed, that it can do all this stuff. The priest left the museum, and on his way home, he was involved in a near-fatal car accident. Another visitor to the museum, it was a boy and his girlfriend. The boyfriend was actually tapping on Annabelle's glass and mocking the doll. And he was actually killed in a motorcycle accident when he lost control of his motorcycle and hit a tree dead on. So the doll has been in that museum. Ed, until his death, and I'm assuming his son-in-law, I believe it is, continues this tradition, but he basically would bless this case and this doll every day, or every week, once a week, with holy water and stuff like that, to make sure that it wasn't getting into any kind of trouble. There actually was recently a scare where they thought that Annabelle had actually escaped her case. And the guy who runs the Warren Museum now, which is their son-in-law, actually had to go on like YouTube and stuff like that and put a video out and say, no, she's right here, she's in her case, it's fine. Though she did leave her case. Famously, if you're a fan of Ghost Adventures, Zach actually invited, oh gosh, I can't remember what his name is.
I think I have it. Tony Spera.
Yeah, Tony Spera invited Tony Spera and Annabelle to his
he's the current
haunted
owner,
museum.
actually, it says.
Yeah, he's actually the son-in-law of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and he kind of like took on the mantle of it. He brought Annabelle to the Haunted Museum in Las Vegas. It was weird. She was in like a weird little suitcase and stuff. It was really strange. And like the whole time he's like, do not touch the doll. Do not touch the doll. What does Zach Baggins do? Touches the doll. Because it's Zach Baggins. And of course he's going to fucking do whatever the fuck he wants. And of course that pissed him off because, you know, this doll is supposed to be like the most evilest doll in the world.
Yeah.
And it will just do a whole bunch of awful bad things to you if you touch it, and it'll possess you and all this stuff. Which, of course, after the fact, Zach Baggins did say that he was compelled by the doll to touch the doll. And it's like, okay, whatever.
He had to feel it, be like, do you even lift, bro?
He's like, your t-shirt's not tiny enough.
Yeah, it's just...
but yeah, so Annabelle is nothing to be really messed with if you believe in that kind of thing.
Right. If you believe in that kind of thing. And if you believe in the Warrens. Because as you were specifically telling me, because I was doing my own research, but Kim kind of like was doing a little bit more, where most of the claims from this are basically what you said, like only founded by the Warrens. Like, right? Like
it's literally like so vague. It's basically, you have to take Ed Warren's word for it, basically. Any of the people that are in this, like for example, okay, a priest was visiting. There's no name. The person on the motorcycle, no name. The nursing student, her name changes. Sometimes it's Donna, sometimes it's Deidre, sometimes it's something totally different.
And it also is completely foggy where the doll originated from.
Right.
Because again, this person, what you said her name was, she just bought for her daughter, right?
Yeah, she said she went to a secondhand store and saw the Raggedy Ann doll and was like, oh my God, my daughter would absolutely love this. Which, mind you, the daughter is in college. Why would your daughter like a Raggedy Ann doll? But okay, whatever.
Yeah, what a weird thing to buy your college daughter. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because that is like in the movies, it's basically the same thing as there's people like, I believe it is a college dorm, and like, but it's the weird, creepy looking Annabelle, that we're used to. Yeah, and the Warrens have there's a lot of controversy there because I mean essentially like they did make a living off of this.
Oh yeah.
Like they had all the reason in the world to. And again, I'm not saying that I necessarily believe that they faked stuff, but they had reason to fake stuff.
Yeah.
They had reason to hype up and glamour things and all of that. There really wasn't, but this is like not many, especially to this day, paranormal investigators, quotation marks, that really are working with the Catholic Church, though, but like they actually did work directly with the Catholic Church as like demonologists or whatever. But, you hear a lot of, like, stories and, like, accounts of people, like, basically saying that they know that the Warrens were, like, essentially frauds.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that happened in, like, Amityville, for example, the people that actually were involved in the actual, like, real incident are, like, none of the stuff happened. Like, yeah, it's really... It's really odd because, like, it's like they're saying one thing and, like, you're not sure if you really believe them or not. You want to believe them because of, their reputation and everything. But at the same time, you're like, did it really happen,
Right.
It's really... I don't know, because I've seen, like, I watch a lot of paranormal shows and stuff like that, and one of my favorites used to be Paranormal State, and Lorraine Warren was actually prominently featured on that show because she's a psychic medium.
Oh, she's actually on that show?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I never really watched it, so I did not know that she...
Yeah, so, like, when they would need a psychic medium, she was one of their go-to people. It was usually her, Michelle Belanger, Chip Coffey, occasionally Chris Fleming, and, Lorraine Warren.
And I'm not saying that I don't think psychics are real, but when you're using psychics that are basically, quote-unquote, celebrity psychics, like... How much merit can you put in there? Because let's be honest, like, especially if you're that kind of status and you're appearing on a paranormal show, you probably know the history of the building you're going in.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, for, like, the smaller places and stuff, I know a lot of times, a lot of the psychics do prefer to be blindfolded and not told where they're going.
Yeah, that's what they tell you, though. You know what I mean? So that's, like, it's so... Difficult to know.
But yeah, like if it's an infamous place, like I know there was one show I was watching, and they brought the psychic in there, and it was the Lizzie Borden house. Everybody knows the Lizzie Borden story. It's like, I could pretend to be a psychic medium and walk in there and be like, oh yeah.
Right. And like for something like that, what's the merit in it? Like, are they just going to tell you like the whole place is probably haunted. Like if you already know, like, you know, and I have seen stuff that, you know, assuming that the show isn't lying, that the psychic actually, like, that's weird, you know what I mean? But that's the thing is, like, when you're watching the TV shows and stuff like that is, especially when it comes to psychics and that, like, you really have to take it with a grain of salt. And there's been multiple cases where, like, on that, what was the guy's name that got caught that was straight up fake on
Derek Acora.
Was it Most Haunted? Is that what that was called?
Most Haunted, yeah. They had they had a person that was supposed to be like their like researcher, and their actual person that would help them with their paranormal investigations. He was a seasoned investigator and stuff like that. Well, he started to notice that Derek was coming up with things that were really, really specific. And usually when psychics walk through, they're not very specific at all. They're very vague with their information. And usually you could just kind of put two and two together and it'll fit into the story. Well, he was getting really specific. So he, this researcher, he actually planted evidence and some information, and Derek got a hold of it, and he actually, like, this had nothing to do with the haunted location they were at. Like, all this information that he leaked to him had nothing to do with the haunted location. Of course, Derek, like, totally pulled that out of his psychic head and gave all this information, and he basically showed the producers and said, hey, he's faking it. And they did essentially fire him from the show because of this reason. They fired Derek Acora from it because, yeah, they actually went later and looked in episodes, and they were like, oh yeah, that's not information. That's fake. That's this, and they were able to pinpoint that, like, in numerous episodes he was being leaked information.
Yeah.
Like his assistant was like getting the information to him, and then he was, you know, having his psychic spasms and whatnot, because he always got possessed.
Oh yes, I remember watching that. Like, I was a lot younger. Like, I was a kid, like straight up a kid when I used to watch that. And I always, even then, as a kid who like really believed in that stuff, without question, was like, "Is this guy for real?" Like, so yeah, you know.
That show always like made me laugh. Like, I would watch all the other ones, and then I would watch that one just for the humor of it, because it was like, they're like, how far can we shove this camera up this person's nose, practically?
It was basically the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, and like listening to Yvette scream, Stuart getting hit by something. Like, every episode, he would get hit by something.
Yeah.
Like, it would never fail. Oh, Stuart's down on the ground. He got hit by a ghost. You know, it's like, oh.
I saw ghosts in my room last night. Me and Kim watched Last Night in Soho, and at one point she says that, and I don't know why it is one of the most addicting things.
It is.
Because I know it's an addicting thing to say, because I say it at work, and like they haven't seen the movie, and I have multiple of my coworkers. They'll randomly say it now, and I'm like, I don't know why. Her little adorable voice, I forget the actress's name, but I saw ghosts in my room last night. And it's fitting because that show, Most Haunted, was British. But back to the haunted doll subject.
Segue!
And not fake psychics. I actually think even though Annabelle, I think, is unquestionably the most popular haunted doll, because, I mean, the movies, I mean, she has multiple movies of her own. Oh, yeah. And I've only seen one of them. Only one of them is good, in my opinion. I've only seen the one, though, but the others I just know are supposed to be pretty trash. Yeah. But one of them's really good. I think it's Annabelle Origins.
Yeah, I want to say it's the Origins one.
Yeah, it's the one that Mike Flanagan made, because everything Mike Flanagan does is good. But, anyways, I just find that she's actually not that interesting, really. Like, not compared to the other things, like Robert the Doll and some of these other real awful fucking things that we'll be talking about. And there's one in particular.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say because I don't want you to research it beforehand, but just it'll probably be episode 3 in the Haunted Doll, so keep an eye out. Because because there might be 5 altogether. There's for sure going to be 4, but I think we're doing 5 actually because there's one that Kim wants to talk about as well, and I have 4. Well, we both have, yeah. So there'll probably be 5. But the one is just real awful, and it is upsetting to me. I think dolls are creepy as it is.
Yeah.
I don't think a Raggedy Ann doll is creepy though.
No, I mean,
if I was the director of a Hollywood movie, I wouldn't have that be the haunted doll either. It doesn't look haunted.
yeah.
It'd be hard to add tension to that.
Yeah, I would probably make something, but I don't think I would make that doll that they made.
It's a little
Annabelle.
over the top.
Yeah.
But like
it looks like a boy doll in drag. Like it's really weird.
it does a little bit actually.
Like,
yeah.
It looks like it's got way too much makeup on.
It looks fakely scary.
Yes.
I also love that doll in the first Conjuring has like almost no screen time, but because people responded to it, it spawned all these other movies. Like actually in the Conjuring universe, it does not have much screen time.
No,
you have things like Valak, which are actually kind of creepy. But yeah, like, but imagine though, if you will, like a slow pan in with like creepy music on a Raggedy Ann doll's face. I think that's funny. Yeah, like it's not creepy. I would just be like, it's some goofy looking flat faced doll with little stupid, like, yeah, little stupid rag hair, like, you know, little carpet hair basically, and like that's not scary. So yeah, if I was trying to make a movie to like make money, which is what you do when you're in Hollywood, that's how you stay in business. I would not have used a Raggedy Ann doll either, so I can't really blame them. But I do agree that I don't like the design of the doll that they came up with. They could have easily used one of the dolls that we'll be talking about later, the Letta thing. That thing right there, which which I'll be putting pictures in. Now, the cool thing is when we talk about Robert the doll, now we're not spoiling this episode, Kim has actually seen him. So that'll be fun when we get to that episode because we have some actual like pictures that she took. So.
And yes, I asked permission.
Yes, but we will talk about that later. And why you have to. But yeah, I mean the Annabelle doll, there's not really that much. I think the more interesting thing about the Annabelle doll is the Warrens and kind of the Warrens in themselves, because like them or hate them, I do find them interesting.
Yeah, I do too.
And a lot of people that dealt with them did say they were nice people.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of people think they're frauds.
Right. I mean, it's... I guess it really depends on your experience. I mean, I've never actually met them, so I can't
me either.
say.
I would love to go to their museum. Unfortunately, it's not a thing you can go to anymore.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's temporarily closed. They're hoping to open it again, but because of the pandemic and whatnot. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
Because of zoning issues.
Yeah, because like if you try and go there...
museum.
Yeah, because I watched another vlogger, I really like his channel, the Grimlight Collective. He tried to go, and there's like signs basically everywhere just being like pretty much warning you not to, because like people know about the museum, which is literally like a little like almost garage type of thing outside of the house of the Warrens. I don't know who owns it now, if it's in the family or something. Well, it's like in a separate like little house thing. It's
oh, it is in a separate thing now?
Yeah, it's like a separate thing. At least that's what he was saying on the vlog, because he was like, this is the building that the stuff is in, or whatever, But I would love to go there. There's a haunted items place close to us that we are going to try and get into.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that.
It's in
Hopefully
West Virginia, but it's like not too far.
Not too far from us. It's like the border of West Virginia. Yeah. But, I'm curious to know what you guys think. If you're watching this and can leave a comment, let us know if you think the Warrens are full of shit. If you actually think there's merit. Do you even believe in a doll being able to be haunted? Because I don't know. I don't know for sure if I do. Maybe it's possible. What is a ghost? That's something we've done episodes on before. Like, that was something I don't think we did touch on really, is Warrens are the ones that stated, and I'll let you say it because you are the one that referenced it, about basically ghosts not being able to possess
Yeah,
them.
they basically said that only inhuman entities, for example, demons, can possess objects, like a doll, and that human spirits, like if we were to die, we wouldn't be able to get into a doll. I don't know how or why they think this, but they said that basically the inhuman entities use the objects or dolls or whatever as a way to get closer to humans so they can actually possess the human. Because that's what their main goal is. They want to be inside a human.
And, like, harm the human and stuff like that. Which, I mean, if you are taking all of that stuff, like, if you're taking, like, the ghosts are real, the demons are real, all of that kind of stuff, it does make sense, I suppose, because, like, demons are what possess people and things ghosts don't really possess. You know, because ghosts aren't necessarily good or bad. I mean, I guess they could be either, but they're not pure evil, where a demon is, like, the antithesis of evil. It is the embodiment of evil and nothing but. And so that's, you know, it's just possessing dolls. Which, what a weird thing to possess. And that's the other interesting thing about Annabelle is, again, they're, besides, like, this person got it from somewhere and gave it to her daughter that's in college. How weird. We don't know. No one knows where it came from. Like, why is it possessed? Who possessed it? Where was it?
Right.
And I think that is kind of an allure to the story, is that there isn't that much information. It is very vague, and that tends to make things creepier.
Yeah, because all it says is that the psychic medium said that it's possessed by a little girl that died under mysterious circumstances or something. Like, they don't know how she died, but she decided to possess this doll.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, could you get more information? Yeah, her name is Annabelle. That's it. That's all they got. And it was like, okay, I'll take your word for it.
So, that is what it is. Believe it or not, it's popular, and that is kind of the main thing about Annabelle. There's really not much more to it than that. If you were to come face with Annabelle, would you touch her? Would you be like bro Zach Baggins and give her a little pokey woke on her facey waist? Wherever, I don't even know where he poked her.
It was her foot.
Oh, it was her foot, just her foot.
Yeah,
that's like, it's like a foot fetish.
Maybe. Maybe. Like a Tarantino fetish or
he's just like into the creepy Annabelle doll feet. But yes, as always, make sure you like and subscribe. Again, leave a comment to let us know future content you would like us to make. And again, if you believe the Warrens and all of that stuff, you know, if you like this kind of thing, if you like the haunted objects thing, let us know if there's a particular haunted object you'd like us to cover, like a chair. Like a real creepy chair that you've seen online.
There is a chair.
Oh, there's a haunted.
It's in Zach's museum.
I'm sure it is. You know, maybe it's
supposed to be possessed by numerous demons.
We might cover that as well. We have a whole bunch of content planned after the doll thing as well. But again, make sure you are liked and subscribed so you don't miss any of that. And of course, make sure you ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content.
So great.
Yeah, it's real great. Having to adjust the audio levels every time you do it, so thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.